What's up, fight fans, and welcome back to another Vegas Odds recap show. I'm your host, the fight analyst, Gary Kern. With me, as always, is the real Joe Danger, Jesse Hobson. What's up, man? How's it going?
Hey, what's up, dude? My arm is kind of hurting a little bit, been fighting, but I figure I might as well, take it to round two. No big deal. It's not like it's not like a million people have money on me or anything, but it is what it is. Just another day, another fight, just another day in the life of a fighter, if I do say so myself.
All right, I see where you're going there, but
do you like that?
Yeah, you threw me a little curveball there. Wasn't expecting it, but yeah, I mean, UFC Long Island, it was a great fight card. Every single fight was worth watching. We're talking even Lauren Murphy, Misha Tate. Great fight. We didn't even think that fight was going to be a great fight. Great fight. Every fight on this card was great, except for the one and only fight that everybody was waiting for. Brian Ortega and Yair Rodriguez gave us a little blue balls there. We got a lot of blue balls there. We wanted to see some action. We wanted to see a clear-cut winner, but unfortunately, Brian Ortega pops his shoulder out due to, Yair Rodriguez kind of just, I don't know, he was attempting an armbar, so maybe that's why he pulled out of his socket, but who knows? This is going to probably be his third shoulder surgery. I don't know what kind of fighter he's going to be like coming back from that.
Yeah, battle of the Mexicans, man. Like Ortega tried to out-Mexican the legit Mexican, and I think it kind of blew up in his face, honestly. Ortega has his Modelo ad, and that's all cool and dandy, but, I mean, there's really only one real true Mexican fighter on this roster, and it's Yair Rodriguez. Unfortunately, I didn't have money on him like you, and I was even trying to talk you out of the play, which in hindsight, up until they called the fight, I was actually super impressed with Yair. I thought he was doing really well in the clinch. He was kind of fighting at range like he typically does. He wasn't doing the crazy spinning shit. He was doing just enough to affect Ortega and to kind of be weird and just unconventional. And I think it really had Ortega questioning, how this fight was going to go. I was super impressed with the 49 seconds that I saw. Math is not my specialty, but yeah, ultimately just disappointed. I would have liked to have seen that go a little bit farther, but I mean, hats off to Yair. I thought he definitely showed up, and he put a cap in his Mexican hat, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was, for what we saw for a minute's worth, it was a good fight. It was back and forth. Ortega got a takedown, and we were going to see him try to work his magic on the mat. So it would have been interesting to see what happens there. And Yair was really putting on Ortega, on the feet. Unlike Ortega was saying that he won every moment of the fight, which is absurd to even say, because I thought he was losing majority of the minutes on the feet. And yes, he was winning on the mat, but he just got it there, and we were just kind of going to see what happens from there.
If he didn't get a finish, you won 8 seconds of a 49 second fight. Okay, Bob. Okay.
He gets a takedown. Oh man, I was winning every second of that fight.
Yeah, he's like, this is just how we drew it up in the playbooks. I'm like, what? You to get controlled? And then he's like, yeah, on the mic, he's like, we'll run it back. And I'm like, that's not your decision at this point. Man, I'm
expecting an interim title fight between Yair and Josh Emmett. I'm pretty sure that's the way they're going to go. And I'm pretty sure that should be next. I think that should be next, because I think Volkanovski really, truly wants to go to 155. I don't think the UFC has really given anyone that number one contender spot after Max Holloway, because, Max Holloway is better. They know that Max Holloway is better than anybody else in that division other than Volkanovski. So they're kind of reluctant to just give Josh Emmett the fight, or they're reluctant to give Yair Rodriguez the fight after that fight happened. So I'm expecting those two to fight for interim title. And I think Volkanovski waits and takes the winner of Islam Makhachev and Charles Oliveira. I think he's going to wait for that fight and take the winner.
Again, another curveball here. If they do decide to rebook this fight, which I really hope they don't, even after the surgery, another fight with Yair, if they do rebook Ortega versus Rodriguez, they should do it in California, Texas,
or Mexico,
or Mexico. I feel like that one's obvious. Yeah. I thought it was kind of a travesty that it was where it was.
It doesn't make any sense.
It made zero sense, and there was really no. I mean, I saw a few Mexican flags in the audience, but it just would have felt a little more real. Maybe put Brandon Moreno in the co-main against somebody else. After we see what happens in Dallas, it would be a really cool card. I mean, you could really make a really interesting card.
What they could have done is put that fight on UFC 276.
Yeah, but they needed the main event for this. I mean, I definitely don't want to see Watterson as the main event.
Right. No, I get you there, but I mean, that fight on 276 would have been great on the main card.
Yeah, I agree.
Right before that'd be the featured bout, right before Moreno and Kai Kara France. I think that'd be, that would be a great fight. That would make 276 watchable in my opinion, because right now it's very watered down.
Yeah, I live here, and I'm not going to that. I try to go to all the pay-per-views. Also, I try to go to all the fights locally. I'll go to Austin, Houston, Dallas. Hell, I've been to Oklahoma, San Antonio, and I'm avoiding this one. I just don't feel like the juice is worth the squeeze. The truth of the matter is that a lot of these Long Island boys are just not. They don't sell tickets. I mean, Aljo is probably the only one that's just as of late.
Right. There's not even many fighters that fight out of Long Island. I mean,
but even just the New York fighters. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's quite a few, but none of them really move. The mark as far as
definitely not.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Moving on. Let's move on to in the co-main was a fight between Amanda Lamosh and Michelle Waterson-Gomez. Waterson-Gomez looked good early on. She was doing her thing, landing some takedowns, controlling some of the fight in round one. But then Lamosh just catches her in a failed takedown attempt to transition to a beautiful guillotine choke where had Waterson's eyes popping out of her skull. That's how tight that squeeze was. I thought this was a very good performance by Lamosh. I thought she was going to get a knockout, but she finishes it either way.
Yeah, here's the thing. Did Waterson-Gomez look good, or did Lemos look not so good? The other point I want to make is that, by adding Gomez to her name, it seemed like her ass got a little bit fatter. But ultimately, Lemos, I feel, underperformed here. Waterson took advantage. I think Gomez was kind of looking past this fight. And I do want to, applaud. I was giving Waterson so much shit about her getting on the mic, but she showed up, and I really enjoyed this fight, for what it was. I mean, it was better than the main event, but ultimately I just put a little extra money on Lemos just for fun, probably more money than I should have, just because I knew the outcome, because I am Nostradamus.
Maybe you are.
With these two, yeah.
Who isn't? But
yeah.
The next fight we had a banger between Li Jinliang and Muslim Salikov. He did his damn thing, just like I knew he would. Very easy to fade a 38, 39-year-old guy that looks like he's pushing 75. Coming in there. I mean, the dude did not look his best shape. He looked like he probably would be Lee's heights if he just would stand up straight. But he's just like hunched over, old man style. Looks like he's been kickboxing for the last decade and a half, for 3.5 decades. So I kind of feel like Li Jinliang, he looked like he was in the best shape of his life. And then he's come down to Sanford MMA. He got a lot of good work in there. He also trained with Shavkat Rakhmonov. I thought he was gonna pull through and get a big win, and he did.
Oddly enough, I know that you off the air you told me you didn't watch this whole fight, so I'm going to call you out. But
I didn't. But I saw the part that matters, and that was that nasty knockout.
I will. I will say that it was entertaining for what it was, and then Li Jinliang, or however the hell you say his name, he looked good. He had his ups and downs. Sokolov looked pretty good for how old he is. He does what he does, and that's the spinning weird ninja kick thing. But round two, he started slowing down. The beginning of the end, round two started. And like you said, though, and I really like the way you said it, Lee looked like he was in the best shape of his life. And because of which, I think that might have what ultimately helped him get the win. It was a beautiful knockout. And it was fantastic performance of the night, and I was really happy with the outcome.
Yeah, you watched the entire thing and watched your money come in, but not only did he cash for us as an underdog, plus 150 underdog, one of the many underdogs that we cashed the entire night. Like, I am not a dog better. I'm not a dog hunter like some of these people because they love the value. I get it. But for me to hit 5 out of 6 underdogs, it's like a breath of fresh air, because it's like I don't do that. So I'm very happy. I want to toot my own horn a little bit, get myself a pat on the back. Did good.
Yeah, you should. I mean, one of the ones you kind of talked me into is the next fight, the fight of the night, Matt Dangerous Schnell versus old Suma Jari or whatever the hell the name you're gonna forget a week from now.
Oh man. Oof.
What stood out to me about this, but before we get to the big, awesome outcome of it, Sue had the ankle wrap or the knee wraps, and I thought
big red flag, huge red flag.
Yeah, I wish I would have known that prior to the fight, because had I saw that, like, why would you have those in MMA? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. They're gonna fall down. You're almost like putting your opponent at an advantage, because your knee is not going to be flush whenever you make. I mean, we obviously know that he was head hunting with his hands, but yeah, hindsight is 2020, and I mean, all the writing was on the wall for this one.
Yeah, man, it's a crazy fight. I kind of expected Schnell to get tagged as much as he did. I'm surprised he lasted out of the first round. I thought he was going to get tagged in the first round, but I thought he came back after getting rocked for 5 consecutive times. Mind you, he went to Twitter and thanked the referee for not stepping in, because that ref could have stepped in numerous times, but he let him fight out, and look what happened. He fought through it. He rocked Sue as he was gassing, took him down, and absolutely beat the dog shit out of him. Dragged his ass. Elbows. That was literally insanity.
The way that Sue would like hold his arms, and then like Matt would push back, and then Sue would like lean his elbow into his face. He did it multiple times, to the point where I was like, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. But I think it might have been after the 5th one, you could see Sue starting to fade. He wasn't able to push back on Schnell like he was the first time. And yeah, man, this was just a sight to see. I'm actually looking forward to showing my parents this fight. As soon as we're done here, I'm literally going to light up the card and just show them that fight, and that'll maybe even the next one, but this fight, that
was one for the record books, one that we cashed in on, one you would have cashed in on a plus 800 submission prop if you just watch our content, because with that, we are that damn good. We called Matt Schnell plus 800 by submission. Beautiful.
See, I really thought he was going to win by decision, and even if you would have just played him straight up, 220 is nothing to laugh at. That's a hell of a play, and he's good. He was a good get on the DK lineups as well.
The next fight we had was in the featherweight division between Shane Burgos and Charles Air Jourdain. What a fucking fight! This was a dog fight. Did you think Shane Burgos won the fight, or did you have Charles Jourdain?
I think Shane Burgos won the fight because I had bet on him after the shit show that was the Misha Tate fight. I took every bet that I had from the Misha Tate fight on, and I doubled all of my bets. So when Burgos did what he did in round 3, I was beyond nervous. Not because I thought he was going to get knocked out or anything, but I thought that he was giving away the fight. And a lot of times these third rounds, or these last rounds, 3rd, 5th, whatever, can be the decision maker. You could argue that round 3 was a 10-8, even though I think the judge gave Burgos a 10-8 in round 2. So it was just like
no, the judges were so bad on that. Burgos gets his 10-8, but Jourdain doesn't get a 10-8. They had Jourdain winning, like 2 rounds, the first and third, but then gave the 10-8 to Burgos in round 2. So it's like, he got the first and third right, but he fucked up round 2.
I wouldn't have been mad had Burgos lost had I not doubled up on the bet. But because I doubled up, I was just like, dude, come on. But like, because of the outcome, it just meant that much more to me. But had I just bet the initial bet, I would have been happy with whatever outcome we got, because both guys, man, except for Burgos, they at least fought 2 rounds each of them.
Oh yeah, that was.
But it was a good fight.
Yeah, that was a banger. And the one that opened the main card, the flyweight fight between Misha Tate and Lauren Murphy. And might I say, this is one of my worst takes in a while. I guess you could say it was a terrible take. I just thought Tate was going to go in there and manhandle Murphy, but I underestimated Murphy by a country mile, because she looked quick, she looked powerful, she looked extremely strong, great takedown defense, literally the best she's ever looked in her entire career. I feel like she was really motivated to get one back after losing to Valentina, that she literally upped herself and looked the best she's ever had in her entire career against arguably her second best opponent in her career, next to Valentina.
Tate was just a few steps behind here. I always bet Murphy. I always bet Schnell. And this week I didn't bet Murphy, and it did in the ass. I think I even made a tweet about it. Tate just looked slow. Every single movement, it looked like she was just straining herself to do it. And so I was like, well, can I bet Murphy live, after round one? And then it was just, by that point, it was just too far gone. She was handling the fight. It was just the same song and dance round 1, 2, and 3. She's punching you with pillows too, but she knows she's doing good. And I'm excited to see where she goes from here. Big fan of hers since Tough. I hated her on Tough, but I also think they edited her to be somewhat of a villain. So I'm happy that she's finally getting this second wind in her career.
Like I said, she's looked the best. That was the best I've ever seen her look. So I think she's only going to get a little bit better. I mean, granted, she's going to be 39 in a week or two, so she's getting up there. But she could definitely hang in there with the best of the best in that division. So she's always going to put on a great fight. I don't expect her to just fold unless you're Valentina, and that's completely okay at that point. But let's just recap some of the prelim work. A lot of great prelim work, as there was four finishes back to back, and that was the knockout of Punahele Soriano over Dalsha Lungiambula.
Yeah, I played Soriano live after round 1. I still paid for it, but I just didn't see Dalsha coming back. He was already getting tired after the end of round 1. It is what it is. I'm not too proud of it because it was a lot of chalk, but still took it.
Money's money.
Yeah, gas in the tank.
Absolutely, we keep it moving. And then Ricky Simone, man, I was so ecstatic when I saw Ricky go out there and absolutely dominate Jack Shore, knock him down, showing he's got power in those hands. The Simon Show. But
you heard here first. Hashtag turd and Durden.
But that arm triangle from, mind you, he got from Mount. Most people will not get an arm triangle from Mount, so that was very impressive there. And it shows that Ricky is a top competitor, and he should be fighting for the title within probably 2 to 3 more fights, given who he fights next. But he deserves someone in the top 10, gets that win. He deserves someone in the top 5, and they get him on that fast track up the ladder because he is that good. And I've said it before he got into the UFC, he's gonna fight for the title, and he's on his way.
As long as I've known you, you're one of the only people that I've known that has been in that dude's corner since pre-UFC, and you have never stopped. So
I've never faded this man. I think I've won with him, I've lost with him, and I stayed true and true. That man, I will always bet on him. I have a lot of confidence in his abilities. I've seen it from day one, and I think he's gonna be a title holder at some point.
Yeah, it was kind of weird, having him do his little thing and his hair not waving the back. I know. I didn't think I would miss it, but I was like, damn, you're just a little less cool, but I'll take it.
The next one was, man, what a beatdown. Bill Algeo over Herbert Burns. He absolutely mauled Burns. Got out of a really tough, tight triangle where he tried to play it off. It wasn't tight. Bullshit. That was extremely impressive. And then he just absolutely demolished Burns and drowned him around 2. I think he popped his knee out at some point. He couldn't even walk to the back. Yeah, it was pretty bad for Burns. I don't know what's next for him. I don't expect him to be back in the UFC. I would like to see him because he's still exciting to watch. I just don't think he's built for it, though.
Yeah, I don't see him. If he doesn't stay in the UFC, I don't see him going anywhere else either. I don't think that this is his. I mean, he'll probably be like a BJJ coach or something, but I got a feed where I didn't have commercials, and he was tired. He was complaining to his brother that he just didn't want to fight anymore between rounds. Obviously I can only hear bits and pieces. Some of it's broken Portuguese, some of it's English. So it was hard to decipher if he was saying that he didn't want to fight because of his leg or if he didn't want to fight because he was exhausted. I would probably lean toward the latter because he didn't want to get up and he just kept saying he's tired. So, talks about his leg. You don't want to wish that on anybody, but I feel like there might have been a little, Academy Award nominee, happening, but his knee probably did hurt. I would say that.
Let's get moving. Dustin Jacoby against Dawoon Young. That was a good fight for how long it lasted. Jacoby showed why he should not be fighting anybody below him anymore. Give this man legit competitors. He's now 6-0-1 in the UFC. The dude's been killing it against elite, unranked competition. Now give this man who he deserves to fight up the ladder and keep it moving, because this man, he has progressed so much since his time out of the UFC and into Glory Kickboxing, and he's a legit contender now. People gotta recognize this.
Yeah, I love betting on this dude. Like, I bet on him almost every fight. Like, I can't think of a fight where we didn't have him on the ticket.
Yeah.
But yeah, great fight. You know, knocked him out. Moving on, like, he's unscathed. Let's get him another fight on the Dallas card.
Yeah, I definitely expect him to be in here at least one more time before the year is over. I'm hoping he gets in there much sooner because, you know, like you said, nothing happened to him, and he's a moneymaker. That dude comes to fight. If you can't take him down and hold him down, he's going to beat your ass up on the feet. I'm excited for him to start fighting some legit competition. Get overlooked again. Let him get overlooked again so I can get him as another underdog price.
Well, and that's the thing is I'll even if he seems a little outmatched, I'll still take that underdog value because he wants to win. He wants to win badly. He's there to win. He's a winner. Like that's just it. And I think a lot of it's that self motivation, like if that internal belief that you can win. Sometimes that's all it takes. And if you're going to have that mindset, you know, that's pretty valuable.
And the next fight we had in the middleweight division between Dustin Stoltzfus and Dwight Grant was a snoozer of a fight, but we cashed out an underdog. Of course. I mean, it was quite easy. I loved the fight. It was easy. I don't know. I thought it was kind of boring.
Well, Dwight Grant's kind of boring.
He is. Yeah. That's why I don't like watching him fight. He's a boring fighter.
Yeah, like in the beginning, he like wanted to be the knockout artist, and his like we talked about leading up to this fight. You know, his chin's going. He's not really evolving. That slam, though, when Dustin picked him up and slammed him right in the middle of the cage, I was like, that was awesome.
See, that was the potential that Stoltzfus has. You know, if he's not fighting legendary black belt competitors, he could do that to people.
With me, I'm sure it's very similar with you. When I have money on a fight, even if it's like the most boring fight, like any Israel Adesanya fight, actually, even if I have money on it, it's that much more entertaining for me. So this one was, especially because we were on the right side, it made it much more. Yeah.
In that sense, yeah. But like from an outsider's perspective, not the most exciting fight on this type of fight card, especially when you got 4 back-to-back finishes right after this. That's when things started moving. And that's one of the best parts of the entire fight card. And the curtain jerker, the one that started us all, was Emily Ducote's winning debut against Jessica Penne in the strawweight division. Very impressive. I think she broke the record for most leg kicks landed in strawweight history in one single fight. And she looked exactly how I expected her to look. Countering on the feet, using the leg kick, staying at range, piecing Penne up, defending takedowns, and just winning handily. And Ducote is showing that she's already built to fight for the title. I mean, she's big, she's strong, she's got great stand-up, and she can give anybody problems, anybody in the top 10. And she's already ranked 14th. So
yeah, her leg was chewed up more than I'm not even going to go there. But either way, it was a nice coming out party for Emily. I'm excited to see where she goes from here. I do think she's going to have a little trouble, you know, when she gets to like the top 5. I'm curious to see, though. I think that there's a good chance for a sub loss in her future. That's all I'll say.
Ducote is a jiu-jitsu black belt in her own rights.
I'm aware. So I think that's why she'll welcome the ground fight. I was wrong.
If you're thinking Mackenzie Dern would ever beat Ducote, you're out of your mind. Ducote would beat the dog shit out of Dern. I'm just telling you that right now.
There's a challenge. Okay, so you guys watching in the comments, how would you line Mackenzie Dern versus Emily Ducote? Let me know in the comments below, and we will make fun of you in the next video.
We will. That we promise. We will make fun of you, whether you're on Ducote or you're on Dern. All right, that's what we have for you guys for this week's Vegas recap show. We will see you guys next week, same time, same channel. You guys got to go like and subscribe to the VegasOdds YouTube channel and all social media platforms. We will see you guys next week.